We are previewing Week 11 in college football here at SBR Forum Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We're talking right now with returning guest, featured college football analyst for 2012 at SBR Videos, Steve from collegefootballwinning.com. Steve, thanks for coming back with us this week.
Thank you for having me back again, Peter.
All right. Pick three interesting games this week. The first one is interesting because, to me, it's an obvious stay away. Wisconsin at Indiana. Now, I really liked Indiana the last 2 weeks, and they've kind of overachieved. They got 2 straight wins. Now they're definitely stepping up in class. The question is, did they overachieve? I mean, Wisconsin, with teams like this, you always read people talking about how, they're just outsized on the offensive and defensive lines. They're just going to get crushed on the defensive lines. Wisconsin's had kind of a disappointing season. They're also off of a bye and off of a loss. So they're going to be, healthy, well-rested, planning for this one. And if Indiana has overachieved and they're stepping up in class, they're outclassed here, I got to think that Wisconsin on the road, -7 is the way to go here. Is that what you like?
That's actually not what I like.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see if you'll agree with me by the time we finish and I build my case here.
Sure. Well, I'm definitely not going to bet this game, so I tell you right now. But let's see what you have to say.
Oh, all right. Well, maybe I can convince you. Maybe not. Both of these teams control their own destiny in the hunt for that Rose Bowl berth. For Indiana, it would be their first Rose Bowl berth since 1967. Wisconsin has gone the last 2 consecutive years, so this is a case of the wolf on the hill not being as hungry as the wolf climbing up the hill. Mm-hmm. That wolf climbing the hill is obviously Indiana. Indiana is a good home team. This is Indiana's last home game of a good season for Indiana, especially by Indiana standards. They throw the ball 42% more when they're at home, and they average more than 107 more passing yards, and they have thrown 14 touchdowns to just 1 interception at home. Compare that to throwing 5 passing touchdowns and 5 interceptions when they're away this season. Indiana has scored at least 24 points in every game this season, including 49 points against number 5 Ohio State. They are number 1 in the Big Ten in passing yards and number 2 in the Big Ten in total offense. Their passing offense ranks 21st in the FBS. The average passing offense faced by Wisconsin's defense is 70th in the FBS. They've only faced 1 passing offense in the top 35 this season, and that was Oregon State, and they lost both straight up and against the spread. Speaking of passing, Wisconsin is going to be without the Big Ten's most efficient passer. Starting quarterback Joel Stabby broke his collarbone the last time out against Michigan State. Wisconsin is a bad away team. Wisconsin has lost 2 of their 3 away games this season. They are 13-20 against the spread away since 2007. That's less than 40%. Under Coach Bielema at Wisconsin, the Badgers are 2-6 against the spread as 3 to 7 point away favorites. Indiana, on the other hand, since 2003, they're 6-3-1 against the spread when they're getting 3.5 to 7.5 points at home. They are 20-14-1. That's almost 59% against the spread at home since 2007, including 3-1 against the spread at home this year. They're 6-2 against the spread overall this year, including 4-1 against the spread as underdogs. Finally, our power ratings here at collegefootballwinning.com suggest that Indiana should have been a 7-point underdog before the Joel Stabby injury. So his absence has not affected this line at all. We like Indiana at home, +7, and you and I talk off the air a lot about public betting percentage. They're getting something less than 25%. They're very much a live home dog right now.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise. All right, put it to you this way. If this were, a Thursday or Friday game, if this were the only game on the card, obviously I would bet it, and I would bet it big. But, on the Saturday card, it makes me feel too uncomfortable. The key here is that, Wisconsin has the injury at quarterback, but the replacements kind of have experience, and they've got, the extra week of preparation. That just, scares me. When you give an extra week of preparation to a program like Wisconsin. I mean, last year, Wisconsin crushed them 59-7. I know they were at home. I know they were different teams or whatever, but I can feel the argument on the other side, which is that Wisconsin's just a different caliber of program, and that class is really going to show here, especially when they have the extra week of rest.
You brought up that quarterback situation. They have had extra time to prepare, but even as we speak, as we're taping this, head coach Bielema has said that it's a 2 quarterback race for the starting job. So they have a guy who has experience starting, O'Brien, and they have no confidence in him. So they haven't named him as a starter. They're thinking about bringing up a quarterback who hasn't seen playing time at quarterback since 2009. So that is a vote of absolute no confidence at quarterback. That's this week. So that is the second week of practice, as you mentioned. This is a bye week, and they still have not named a starting quarterback.
All right, I see where you're coming from. This is a pass for me. I hope you have a winner here, but there's no way I can bet this game. But the next game you want to talk about is one that I really like. Let's move on to that one. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, Peter.